You've been told that self-awareness is the answer, that if you just understand yourself deeply enough, you'll finally get unstuck. But there's a problem with that story. Self-awareness doesn't just reveal your issues, it often creates them. Psychologists call this the self-absorption paradox. There are two types of self-awareness. Reflective awareness helps you grow. Ruminative awareness traps you in loops, and most people default to rumination. You're not examining yourself to solve problems. You're examining yourself because your brain has made self-criticism a habit. You've analyzed your flaws more thoroughly than anyone. You know exactly why you procrastinate, why you avoid, why you struggle. And somehow, knowing all this hasn't fixed any of it. That's not a failure of effort. That's the trap, working as designed. Self-awareness isn't the cure. For many people, it's the disease wearing a lab coat. Chapter 1. The Rumination Machine. Your brain treats overthinking like a skill to develop. The more you do it, the better it gets at finding things to overthink about. Rumination is addictive, not metaphorically, neurologically. Every time you replay a conversation or predict a future failure, you're strengthening neural pathways. You're training your brain to look for problems that don't exist. And here's the cruel joke. Rumination feels productive. You're working on yourself, right? Except, you're not solving anything. You're rehearsing anxiety. The overthinking tax is real. Every minute spent analyzing that awkward thing you said years ago is a minute not spent on actual problem solving. Your brain can't do both. And it compounds. Self-awareness triggers overthinking, which generates anxiety, which triggers more self-focused attention. It's a loop with no exit. You think you'll feel better after analyzing the situation one more time. You never do. But you keep trying. That's not weakness. That's wiring. Chapter 2. The Introspection Illusion. You don't actually know why you do things, and the confidence you feel about your own motivations doesn't match how accurate you actually are. This is the introspection illusion. Your brain makes decisions first, then invents reasons after. You said no to that invitation and told yourself you were tired, but you weren't tired an hour later when you binged 3 episodes of a show you've already seen. You picked a fight with someone and called it standing up for yourself. But really, you were anxious about something else entirely and needed somewhere to put it. We're not reporters of our own minds, we're defense attorneys. You build cases for decisions you've already made. You find evidence that supports what you already believe about yourself and ignore everything that contradicts it. So when you spend hours analyzing why you self-sabotage, you're not uncovering anything real. You're writing fan fiction about your own psychology. The honest answer to why did I do that is usually, I don't really know. And pretending otherwise is where the trap begins. Chapter 3. Solomon's Curse. There's a pattern you've definitely lived. Your friend comes to you with a problem. Within minutes, you see the solution clearly. You deliver perfect advice. Then you go home and struggle with your own version of the exact same problem. This is Solomon's paradox, named after the king who was legendarily wise for others but catastrophically foolish in his own life. Self-awareness shrinks when personal stakes are high. When it's someone else's problem, you see it clearly. When it's your problem, emotions flood the system. Fear distorts the picture. You're not dumber about your own life. You're just too close to it. When facing a personal decision, ask yourself what you'd tell a friend in the same situation. Then actually take that advice. Your self-awareness becomes an obstacle, precisely when you need it most. The solution isn't more introspection. It's psychological distance. Chapter 4. The Expertise Paradox. The more competent you become at something, the less confident you feel about it. This is the Dunning-Kruger effect in reverse. Beginners have maximum confidence because they don't know what they don't know. Experts have minimum confidence because they know exactly how much they're missing. There's a valley of despair, the crushing moment when increased skill reveals how far you have to go. Most people quit at this point, not because they're failing, because self-awareness made success feel impossible. Your imposter syndrome isn't irrational. It's actually a sign of growth. You've crossed from ignorant confidence into informed uncertainty. But it doesn't feel like progress. It feels like fraud. The people who seem effortlessly confident, they're often at the peak of the ignorance curve, or they've learned to act confident while feeling just as uncertain as you. competence and confidence are not the same thing. Chapter 5. The Spotlight Lie. That embarrassing thing that happened? Nobody remembers it. This is the spotlight effect. You believe everyone noticed your stumble, your awkward comment, your visible nervousness. In reality, they were too busy worrying about their own moments to notice yours. You assume your internal state is written across your face. Your anxiety feels visible. Your confusion feels obvious. It's not. Almost never. People overestimate how much others notice them by factors of 2 or 3. You're the main character of a movie that nobody else is watching. This is liberating if you let it be. The audience you've been performing for doesn't exist. The judgment you fear is projection, not perception. The more conscious you are of yourself, the more you assume others share that consciousness. They don't. Want to level up your people skills? Join our community on YouTube or on my Patreon for exclusive scripts, early access, and connection with people who get the social struggle. Links below. Let's master human interaction together. Chapter 6. The Paralysis Protocol. More information was supposed to help. You'd understand your options, weigh them carefully, and make the optimal choice. Instead, you research so thoroughly that you can't choose anything. Self-awareness gives you more data about your decisions. Your values, fears, desires, possible regrets, likely outcomes. But more data creates more paralysis, not less. You've examined your options so exhaustively that deciding anything feels dangerous. Every choice has identified downsides. No option survives complete scrutiny. Major decisions made with less self-reflection often turn out better. Not because thinking is bad, but because overthinking is worse. When you overanalyze, you're using the weaker tool for the bigger job. The practical escape? Time box your decisions. Give yourself a deadline that forces action before complete analysis. Constraints improve outcomes. Perfect information doesn't exist. Waiting for it is just avoidance in a responsible costume. Chapter 7. The Perfectionism Prison. Self-awareness shows you the gap between who you are and who you think you should be. And that gap never closes. It only grows. This is the perfectionism paradox. Awareness of the ideal creates chronic disappointment with the actual. The clearer your vision of perfect, the more painful your reality becomes. You don't just have high standards. You have a surveillance system that never stops recording violations. Hyper-awareness of your values creates crushing guilt when you don't live up to them. Every time you fall short, and you always fall short, the internal critic logs another failure. Self-criticism was meant to help you improve. Instead, it keeps you frozen, afraid to try anything because you already know it won't be good enough. Your standards aren't evidence of ambition. They're evidence of self-attack disguised as motivation. The exit isn't lowering your standards. It's learning to move despite the gap. Chapter 8. The Identity Maze. The more you examine yourself, the less you know who you actually are. You laugh at your boss's joke and wonder if you're being fake. You're patient with a stranger, but snap at your partner and wonder which one is the real you. You post something online, delete it, repost it, delete it again because you can't figure out if it sounds like you or some version of you that you're performing. Once you start watching yourself, you can't stop. You used to just act. Now you act, then observe yourself acting, then judge the observation. 3 layers deep before you've finished a sentence, and each layer adds doubt. Am I actually introverted? Or did I just decide that about myself 10 years ago? Do I like this music, or do I like being someone who likes this music? The search for your authentic self becomes a hall of mirrors. Every answer raises another question. Identity isn't something you find. It's something you build. Not through reflection, through repetition. You become what you repeatedly do. Stop asking who you are. Start choosing who you're becoming. Chapter 9. The Flow Escape. There's a state where self-awareness completely disappears. And paradoxically, that's when you perform best. This is flow, complete absorption in an activity. Time distorts. Self-consciousness vanishes. Action and awareness merge. The prefrontal cortex, your self-monitoring center, temporarily quiets down. Your inner critic takes a break, and you finally get to work uninterrupted. Flow requires specific conditions: clear goals, immediate feedback, challenge matched to skill level. When these align, self-awareness becomes unnecessary. The task absorbs all available attention. This is the opposite of introspection. Not thinking about your thinking, just doing. Performance peaks when self-awareness vanishes. Athletes, artists, surgeons all describe their best work as happening beyond conscious control. You can't force flow, but you can create conditions for it. Clear metrics, no distractions, matched challenge. The goal isn't more self-awareness, it's strategic self-forgetfulness. Chapter 10. The Acceptance Alternative. This is where it all comes together. You can't think your way out of overthinking. You can't analyze your way out of analysis paralysis. The tools that created the problem won't solve it. The alternative is acceptance-based living, not passive resignation, active acknowledgement that you'll never fully understand yourself, and that's fine. Perfect self-knowledge is impossible. Trying to achieve it is the trap. You can't see your own blind spots. Your introspection is often wrong. Treating your self-perception as fact is the fundamental error. Use self-awareness selectively. Reflect when it serves a purpose. Disengage when it becomes rumination. Notice the difference and choose accordingly. Some things don't need understanding. They need doing. Action creates clarity that analysis never can. The goal isn't to stop being self-aware. It's to stop being imprisoned by it. Stop trying to understand yourself perfectly. Start living imperfectly. Learn something new? Hit that like button, share it with others, tap subscribe, and stick around for more. Got thoughts? I'd love to hear them in the comments.